You're listening to Small Business Talk with Jerry. Sit in on great conversations with entrepreneurs who risk everything chasing the American dream.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Small Business Talk with Jerry. Jerry, present. I want to introduce Jordan. Jordan is one of our co-founders for Small Business Referral Group, SBRG, SBR Group, whatever little acronym you like. I'm a fan of SBR Group. But Jordan, welcome. Thanks for coming out in my little studio.
Yes, I'm very impressed with this setup in here. It's awesome. Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you for introducing me. I'm Jordan Whitcomb. I am born and raised here in Rochester, so I'm very passionate about anything really related to Rochester. So
I've known you since what, 5, 6 years old?
Oh gosh, I was mowing your lawn. Gosh, that would have been like 5 or no, I wouldn't have been 5 or 6. But you've known me since then.
I've known you since 5 or 6. You were a little taller than you were mowing our lawn, so it's probably 8.
Yep. But I remember it was like, that's where I was like, dude, I'm going to go make some money and I'm going to mow this guy's lawn and make it look pristine.
And I'll tell you what, even back then, previous life for me, been divorced since then, and different lawn, different wife. So it goes hand in hand, I guess. But I tell you, you were on my radar, literally 20 years ago, because just the ambition, right? I have a young guy that used to work for me at the gun shop, and not the most ambitious kid, right? But smart. Intelligent, well-spoken, and the mistakes that I'll make when I'm talking, he'll never make that mistake, because I just talk, right? And he thinks and then talks. And he was giving me props one day, and it was very flattering. About things that I've accomplished, whatever. And it was very flattering. And I was talking to him, thinking about him. You're in my head too at that point, even though we hadn't probably talked in 6 months before that conversation. But I told him, I said, you're giving me props. You're looking up to me. You're telling me that you'd like me to mentor, or I'm like a mentor to you. I said, I appreciate that. First off, it's flattering. It literally fills my heart when I hear someone talk like that to me. It means I've done something right, And so it makes me a little proud of myself at the same time. But I told him, I said, you are so much more intelligent than I am. And the intelligence you have, it's what you got, kid. Right? You're not, that's not getting any better.
No.
Right? We can have experience. We can have life experience. We can really try to understand people. But the intelligence, what you've got is what you've got. And I told him, I said, if I could convince you to work harder, if I could teach you work ethic, which I don't think you can, I said, right now, if you and I go head to head on anything but arm wrestling, I'm going to whoop your ass, right? And he's just like, and this is after he gives me a compliment, right? I finished it. I responded to his compliment by telling him I could whip his ass in almost anything. But I told him, I said, but that's because you don't want to work hard. You don't have the work ethic. That's the only thing. If I'm going to point out a negative, that's your negative. I said, but I'm telling you what, you turn that around. You figure out how to get ambitious. You figure out how to get work ethic. I said, you're already smarter than me. If you start working as hard as I do, I can't beat you. So every nice thing you're saying about me, it's more true about you if you put your skills to work. But I said, you got to set that alarm, right? You got to get your ass out of bed. You got to get to work. And if you do that, as much as you think of me, you are going to be so much better at all of these things than I am. But I said, right now, I'm just an old man that's going to whoop your ass. So do something about that. We had a long joke about that. And then when I get home, I'm thinking about that conversation, and I think of you, and I'm like, there's a kid that's already got everything. You already got all the skills.
Stop.
Well, it's true. It's true. I've thought
I
about it for a
appreciate
lot of
that.
years.
Thank you.
And that's the big reason why you're sitting here. Again, Jordan's a co-founder of SBRG. And I came to you in December, right? You said
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
Got the text. December 2nd. Yes.
But it's like I had my group of guys that I wanted, that I thought could contribute. Didn't know that everybody'd be interested, right? You still got to put it out there, and it's got to be a two-way street. It's got to be good for everybody. But I was missing 2 people yet, and one of those people, so far the 4 that I really thought was going to be the group, we were all part of networking referral groups for years. beforehand. We spoke with Craig was in it for better than a decade. Greg was in for almost 20 years. I know when Doug and I spoke, I think that was over 20 years, right? 15 years, something like that. I needed somebody to come into this that had absolutely no experience with referral groups, with networking groups. But I didn't need somebody with no experience, right?
Yeah.
I need somebody ambitious. I need somebody with skill set that we could use, but that really didn't understand, not because they can't understand it, but because they just hadn't been part of it, right? You can't know what you don't know. That is probably the dumbest saying. Rick Pagel, thank you very much. When I heard that the first time, I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard in my life. You can't know what you don't know. And now I say it all the time. Because, again, intelligence, ambition, none of that matters if you haven't done it.
Right.
So if you don't know it, you don't know it. Right? It's something you've got to learn. It's something you've got to be accustomed to. You've got to be introduced to it, where you have to experience it. And I knew that was the first thing I asked you was what?
If I had been part of something like this, and if I wanted to contribute to it and be part of it, and I just answered honestly and was just like, I had looked into stuff like that, but no, had not been a part of it. So
never really done it.
Nope.
So that was it. I mean, I needed somebody that hadn't been part of it.
Nope.
But I also needed someone that I knew could wrap their head around it quickly.
Yeah.
But didn't necessarily, but you're going to give us a different perspective.
Nope.
And how do you feel that's worked out?
It's really great. And what I was, just as you were talking about that, and I was, thinking in my head, I feel like as I've grown up, there's a lot of people I've come in contact with and met through my grandma, through my mom, who have known so many solid people in this community and abroad that have been able to mentor me and give me guidance in certain things. And you were definitely one of them. And as I've been introduced into this group of 5 other people, that I each person brings such new things to what I'm learning, and the experiences that they've gone through, and owning their own businesses, going through stuff like that. And I honestly, I know it sounds cheesy, I look up to people like that. I look up to you guys because I want to be that, and up to this point I've been trying to make a name for myself, sort of. Yep. I mean, it's I'm just trying to get along, I'm trying to figure out what my calling is and what I'm going to be good at. And I work in insurance, so that's that's what I do now, and I've done that for 5 years now, and it's good. It has a lot of highs, couple lows here and there, where it's just with any business that you do, and but I still enjoy helping people, so that's like the main motive that I what I love doing, and that's what I've been trying to do. Exactly,
it makes it worth it. Makes it easy to sleep at night and get up in the morning.
Yep.
Doug, when he did his intro, that was one of the things we talked about was previous life. The first 30 years, he had to set an alarm, and he didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. You know, and I mean, you're at 30 years old, right?
Just turned 30 this month.
Yep. At 30 years old, to be in a job that you don't have to set an alarm for, right? I mean, you love what you do.
Yep.
I tell you, when I was 30, I loved what I did.
Yep.
I was making a little money, but I loved what I did, and it really paid off. I learned a lot of the mistakes I made, and I don't know if this is something to be proud of or not, but a lot of the mistakes I made was working for other people. And to be completely honest, most of the major mistakes I made was on the advice of the people I worked for.
Yeah. And
then you start realizing, going, there's a better way.
Yeah.
And the further you go in life and in business, and you realize the better way, that's everything. It's parenting, right? It's being a homeowner or a renter. Now, for someone being a homeowner, that's the pinnacle, right? That you've made it when you own a home. I've got other people, very successful people, that make way more money than I do, and they look at me going, "Why would you want to own a home?" Right? So it's all about what your situation is. The success comes in all different forms. And so the fact that you love what you do at 30 years old, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, and that's, do I wake up every day and I'm just like, I love insurance? No. There's certain nuances and parts of it that I enjoy. It's 100% the people. If it was just insurance to people I didn't know, didn't care about, I know there was people that sell health insurance all over the country. They're calling people from all over the states. That right there is not what I want to do. I love being able to meet people. I've had clients of mine who call me in the middle of the night because they just hit a deer and they have no clue what to do. I've had people that got rear-ended that were sitting in parking lots bawling their eyes out, and I'm able to help them out. Those are the experiences. Yes, they're going through something traumatic, but it's something fulfilling for me to be able to help them through whatever they're doing, and for them to be like, wow, that was amazing that you were there to help me through some really bad times. I mean, just dealt with that this morning with a client.
Yeah.
So they just got into a car accident, and I'm helping them through that whole thing. And it's that right there is where it's rewarding, because you know that you took care of them saving them from that because they have the right coverage for the right value, and I'm going to be able to help them through why they pay for that, because a lot of people are like, oh, why do I pay for insurance? I never use it. Well, when you do use it, you need someone there that's going to help you through that whole process, and I enjoy doing that part. But the right next to that is being able to, which is what the only reason I've been successful really, I think, is being able to go out and meet connections. So that's from day one. For the first month and a half that I was working in insurance, I was out talking to people and meeting people all over the city, just trying to get my name out there, trying to build connections and relationships. And probably about half of them have stuck. Half of them probably don't even remember that I did that, but half of them are like, yeah, that guy is solid. And they wanted to see if I'd probably stick it out, and because insurance is not the easiest thing to stay in. And here I am 5 years later. So nope.
No, and and it's funny because what you just said there about people calling you in the middle of the night and being able to help people, I guarantee you. Now, our viewers are going to be a little skewed because we're geared towards the small business owner, right? The people that are doing it for the same reasons you are. But if we let this podcast go widespread, you're going to have so many people like 5 o'clock, I punch out, lose my number, right? And then you got the other, and I hope it's half, that are like, if I can help, let me help. So I mean, I applaud you, and that's why you're sitting in that seat. That's why you're part of this group, and I feel like you have fit in awesome. I mean, we all get along. It's a real cohesive unit. We had a meeting on Monday night, and it was, I don't want to say heated, but it was passionate. I mean, because we had, and I mean, at the end of the day, you had 5 of us talking about a policy issue going forward as the company grows. You were talking about one individual. You were passionate about making sure that one individual was treated fairly. And regardless of how the policy went forward, we had to take care of that person. And I mean, that as frustrating as that can be sometimes, because you don't want to make those one-off exceptions. And as it turned out, we went the way that's going to be good for, I think, everybody. I think we came to a great solution, but what a great meeting that was. Well, I see we're here at about a little over 12 minutes, so let's wrap it up. Any closing thoughts, Jordan? I'm really excited to do more of these because I feel like there's a lot of things that I can provide for experience-wise and some expertise in some areas. I'm excited to stay in here for future ones and do some of those. And just really appreciate the opportunity being able to do things like this and moving forward, build this up. So just appreciate you having me. Awesome. Just on my closing fact, I guess I just want to make sure that next time we do this, Jordan gets a chair that doesn't go up all the way. Have a great day.